Okay, one of the first steps to designing our prosthetics cover is to get the one of the things we didn't do in our design sketches was to get a view from the top. And the top view is important because it provides the footprint for our prosthetic cover. And we said that we wanted to use the foot last as a means for getting that. So let's do that right now. And I'm going to turn off the right reference because we don't need it for right now. And I'm also going to turn off the pipe so that we can focus on the foot last. And we're going to use this to generate that footprint for our prosthetic. Now, the easiest way, the most straightforward way to do it is to go to our top view right here, and we're going to select this object. We're going to select the whole object, like so. And what we're going to do is that we're going to use our curve from objects, and we're going to get the mesh outline for this. And what that's going to do, what that command does, it's going to generate a curve that is taken from the outline of our mesh. Okay, and you notice that it's drawn this curve. Now let's turn off our foot so that we can see that. And we get a outline curve that represents our foot last. Now let's take a look at this curve in detail because this is important. I'm going to turn the points on for this curve. And you notice that we have a lot of points that are associated with this curve. I'm going to delete those. Okay. And I'm going to delete this one. It's an orphan. And I believe we have couple more orphan curves there. Okay, but you notice that we have a lot of curves here, and they're not evenly spaced. And if we were to use this curve downstream, it would create a lot of problems because this is going to, all of this noise that we see here is going to permeate through any surfaces that are derived from this curve. And one of the axioms of modeling within Rhino, and something that you should always have in your head, is that clean curves produce clean surfaces. So the easiest way to clean up this curve is to rebuild it. Okay, we're going to rebuild this curve. We're going to select this curve for rebuilding. And you notice that the curve has 358 points in it. And you'll notice that if we reduce this curve to 20 points, that we have a minor surface deviation from it. But I'm going to click on OK, and we get a pretty good representation of that curve here. And I'm going to now go in and reshape it a little bit. I'm going to emphasize that a little bit, the interior of the foot. And that's a much cleaner curve. And we can sort of get a sense of how clean it is by bringing up our curvature graph. And we can see that the curve is fairly clean. There are no major kinks in the curve, and that it sort of moves pretty smoothly through our points. So that's a good curve. Okay, and so now we have a good curve from which to work. I'm going to hit F11 to turn my points off. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring back that right view, and because now what I'd like to do is I'd like to scale that curve properly. And I do that, but with my ortho snap turned on, I move this back to the edge of the heel right here. And now I'm going to do a scale, but I'm only going to scale in one dimension for right now. And what I can do is click there, and I'm going to scale this so that it goes beyond the foot there. And now, if I look at the curve now in my perspective view, it's it's to the scale of my foot. And so there I've sort of created a nice curve for that I can use as the footprint for my model. Let's, for a second here, let's bring back our foot model and let's look at it from the top. And you'll notice that I basically elongated it. Okay, and that's one approach. Okay, I could have also, and this might be the way to go with this. I could have also gone in, and I'm going to hit Control Z to go back a couple steps. Um, and let me bring back my foot so we can look at that. So that's pretty tight there. The other approach that I could have taken was to bring back my right reference to look at that again. Okay, and I'm going to go into my front view so that I can see this. And I could have taken this back here like so and brought that out like that. And I could have just scaled it along all 3 dimensions, or in this case 2 dimensions, like that, so that it lines to the front of the foot, like so. And now when I look at that curve from the top view and I bring back the foot, it's slightly larger. It's a little bit larger than our original one, which may conform more closely, which does conform more closely to our model. But whichever approach you take, that's a good way for creating the most efficient way for creating the footprint from the last. And now that I've done that, in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how we add the profile curves that we'll use to create the network surface, which will form the basis for our boot.